Okay, hi. Question for the day. Do you watch videos that come out of the tech conference South by Southwest? If yes, you may know about the video I'm going to talk about. And if no, then, you're welcome. I'm going to tell you about a very cool video that you will likely watch after I finish talking. So, there's a gentleman by the name of Jack Conte who spoke at the South by Southwest conference this year. And when I saw his video, it really sort of got me thinking a lot about like creativity and creators and like the way we built the internet over the past so many years. So what he says in his video is that 2010 is actually a watershed moment where the internet's original promise changed. And by that he basically means that like till 2010, if you followed somebody on social media, and obviously Facebook was like very dominant then, Twitter was coming up, but if you followed someone at that point, like you got all their content, like that's what you got, right? In 2010, a change took place online, which meant that basically now the platform was starting to use algorithms to like rank content for you to make sure that you were able to come across content basically that was the most interesting to you. I'll give you practical examples, right? Like we did this at Twitter. Like I was at Twitter when that happened in 2016, I want to say. I mean, you can correct this. But if somebody logged on to Twitter, say after 8 hours, 9 hours, right? It was not, everybody didn't want to go through 8 hours of content to basically catch up with what's happening. And so suddenly the algorithm would be like, hey, while you were away, these like 4 or 5 tweets were really popular, they generated a lot of conversation. Similarly, and this is because the volume of content had gone up, right? And on Twitter you could actually keep the original chronological algorithm, and then you could also have this ranked one. Then similarly on Facebook, this happened that suddenly Facebook was telling you what's popular in your networks, and despite people protesting that they didn't like it, the truth is that the numbers went up and the usage went up. So it was always clear that like people did like this. Now, if you were a creator and you were kind of riding the wave, right, where it's like your content is picking up traction and you are getting popular, then obviously like there's no complaints here, right? You're reaching a wider audience, you're getting to know what happens when you put your content, and you have to basically do a lot of work in terms of understanding what does the platform value. And so I know the creators over the years have complained about this a bit, like trying to keep up with what the algorithm needs, but also like benefited a lot. I think the story changes a little bit if you're not that top level user, right? If you're like somebody who's from like a smaller geography, or like your subject is very niche. And I remember even at Twitter, like we realized at some point that, oh my God, people are comparing themselves to these vanity metrics, right? 100K, 10K, even 10K, frankly, or like even 5,000 followers is a lot for somebody who's like a small, non-profit in a local city, or, somebody who's just starting off in their career and hasn't found a wider audience. And people would feel actually kind of intimidated and disheartened, and we would actually give them very good advice. I think is that like don't focus on vanity metrics, focus on your core audience, start where they are, engage with them, they really care about your content. But in today's discoverability on social media, this is like a tough thing to tell someone, especially if you're looking to make it big. And so I think that tension sort of exists, and I think Jack Conte's like put it really well, saying that like once ranking started, like there were clear winners and losers. And so he has his own platform called Patreon, and he kind of proposes that people kind of move their creators, and he can help them with monetization. So that conversation kind of carries on, and people will probably have their own opinions. I obviously started thinking about other things that comes with like being part of a following, right? This guy calls them true fans. And I was thinking that a lot of my teenage years and maybe even early 20s was dominated by the idea that I was part of like fandom, right? And like if you know me, then like no guesses, here you go guys, I still own the DVDs, with shows like Buffy and others. Like I grew up on this diet, right? And when I was in boarding school, I was in Dehradun, so I wouldn't see anything for 4 months. I barely saw TV, and then I would come home and I would want to catch up with the episode, and I would, well, I suppose I didn't Google it in those days, but I would search for it. And I would come across Television Without Pity, which was a website that existed back in the day. And they used to have these recaps of the episodes, right? Like a little bit snarky, a little bit bitchy, kind of fun. And then they would have these like forums, like, moderated chat forums per episode. Then like themes, like, I mean, just I couldn't believe that so much effort was being put into like a show or a variety of shows, the characters, and like fans really like, I mean, the critical analysis needed to like, be like the dominant voice there was pretty impressive. It was like parallel to what I saw when I went to McGill, when I did like literature classes and you did critical analysis, like you really had to like put your mind to it. So anyway, in this entire forum, you also had this one one chat room, so to speak, which was just about yourself. Like you didn't need to talk about the show, and none of us used our real names, right? Like we used to all use like pseudonyms. And so, everybody talked about their lives. I'm 40 years old from here, and I'm 20 years old from here, and I was like this teenager from India, which people were like, what are you doing here? Which, at the end of my 2-month holiday, everyone used to say bye, see you in 2 months. And I remember one lady even got me to become pen pals with her daughter who was in Australia. Like, it was just crazy. So what I really liked was that, like, it was, you were part of a community. And like very famously, by the way, for all the West Wing followers, like Aaron Sorkin used to visit like the Television Without Pity forums, and like he used to go crazy because they used to also like call him out for like not giving enough meat to like his female characters. And there's a whole episode in the West Wing where Josh Lyman goes into the forums, right, and he gets like beaten up. Who remembers that? That's based on Television Without Pity. But anyway, I digress because I like it. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is like that was community, right? And that you still find on the internet, not that you don't. But that's like versus the conversation, which is like the hashtag, and people are like following in on the hashtag, and it's a moment where you join the conversation, but you don't necessarily make it into a community. And very few, I think, movements have been able to sustain conversations into community online, because you kind of all galvanize around a hashtag, but you necessarily don't have like a social construct around who you are, why you are here, and how do you stay in that conversation. So the people who do well at that, I think, are the winners. So yeah, that was like my little all over the place thoughts about how difficult it is to really be a creator today, unless you are backed, unless you really know the the algorithm, the models, unless maybe you find a wider platform like a distribution network that you like on TV or OTT platforms. Yeah, it can be tough. And so I think Jack Conte's message is like, it's not you, like don't be disheartened. We need to create more places where like smaller but beloved sort of creators can find their audience and the fans can connect. So I like that thought, frankly. Okay, and now to my recommendation for children. Here is Swati in Rainbow Land, and this is a book. It's a special series at Nanhi Kali, which is an NGO which is funded by Mahindra. They came up with this, I think, about 10 years ago, and it's a limited edition. I'm really sorry, but you can't find this online. But if we write to Nanhi Kali and ask them to do reprints, it would be wonderful. So what they did was they took a couple of children who came to their Nanhi Kali after school, classes or creches, I think, and they basically like got an illustrator. Fun fact, I got in touch with the illustrator and I asked him to send me more copies of like other stories, but unfortunately he wasn't able to figure them out for me. But it talks about Swati, who wants to be a doctor when she grows up. And her father basically says no, she's gonna have to get married, and he tells her that I'm gonna take you out of school. And Swati and her mother, the mother also frankly agrees with the father. He's too expensive to maintain, maybe she should just get married off, and she's a child. And so the teacher shows the parents these pictures that Swati has made in class about herself as a doctor. And in one of the pictures, the father is really proud of her. And she tells the father that, look, like part of her dream is to make you proud. And you might not think that she can be a doctor or even much of this art, but today it's on the wall of the classroom. Tomorrow it could be in the newspaper. Like, keep her in school. Like, that's what you should really be doing. And the father gets very emotional and he starts crying, and then he ultimately tells her that, yeah, you can finish school. So I think the idea of creativity and the idea of communication, and for Swati to be able to even talk to her parents, she couldn't do it, right? Like when she was told you have to get married, that was the end of the story. But through her pictures and through a teacher being able to interpret her pictures, her life completely changed. So that is my little love song to the power of creativity. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and give me feedback, but please only constructive, that would be the helpful type of feedback. Thank you.